Today we're taking a look at set 6626 Snow Scooter from the original Arctic line. This set was released in the year 2000 and originally retailed for $2, and according to the bag here is 20 pieces. This set was the only polybag released for the original Arctic line, although it did have a box variant, but we can talk about the differences for that once we've built it. So let's take a look at the back. Unfortunately, it has no alt builds, which is pretty rare for the time. Even for polybags, they were putting alt builds on the back, so kind of surprising. But let's go ahead and open this up and start building. Here's our tiny instruction sheet. So here's the completed set. Let's take a closer look at our minifigure. So here's our Arctic Explorer, and I'm sure I've said it before, but I really love these guys, especially the green ones. That's probably my favorite color. It just looks so vibrant and I really like it. I'm also a big fan of the parka that these minifigures have. That's this piece right here. I know as a kid this piece always captivated me for some reason. Anything that was like a specialty mold was like my favorite thing in the world back then. He's also got some pretty cool shades and a nice torso print there. Always cool to have more of these guys in such nice condition. And now here he is on his snow scooter. And there's nothing too crazy about this set. It's pretty standard for the Arctic line. Although this was actually the first Arctic set I got as a kid. And there's definitely some really cool pieces here that I liked a lot back then. I already mentioned that I really liked the minifigure and his parka. And then the other cool thing was these chainsaws in light gray. Since I was born too late to experience Ice Planet, this was my first time seeing these pieces, and I always thought they were really cool. These ski pieces are also nice, although my favorite piece was definitely this orange centerpiece here. This body piece I think came from like 90s Space, like M-Tron and stuff like that. And they used it a couple times in this theme. I think it was in the big base and maybe one other set. So it's nice to include it in a poly bag like this. Although, as I mentioned earlier, this set does have a box variant, and the only difference between the box variant and the polybag is that the box version has this Arctic sticker on the top of the orange body piece. And this is the version I had as a kid, although looking online, I didn't see any of the box variants available for sale in North America. Brickset does say that this set came out in North America, although I know in the early 2000s I was living in England, so I'm not entirely sure if I got this in North America or in England, but it definitely seems to be more prevalent in Europe. Either way, I definitely remember having the sticker variant as a kid, and that's what always stood out to me. I just thought that was really cool to have that like Arctic sticker on the front to make it match with the theme. And one thing I literally just noticed as it was sitting here, I was like, why is this one sitting higher than the other one here when they're the exact same build? And then I started looking at the sides here, and this is crazy. This is literally a misprint or like a mismold. I don't know if you see that, but there we go. Look at that. Here we go. So let's get that up closer. So, I mean, we all just saw this come right out of the poly bag. As you can see, there's no stress lines on it. So it doesn't mean that it was like stepped on while it was in the bag. That means that this was ejected from the molding machine. And then before it had even cooled, somehow this happened. And you can actually see there's a tiny little chip on the very end of it right there. So it looks like it probably got caught on something on its way out of the mold, which kind of bent it out of, out of shape like that. And then once it solidified, that's how it came out looking. So that's really cool. I think this is only the second like actual mismold or like undershot. This wouldn't be actually an undershot. This would just be, I don't know, some form of molding defect. But I had this happen one other time in a Dino Attack set when I was a kid, but this is crazy. I mean, you never see stuff like that, so that's really cool. Anyways, definitely no regrets about opening this poly bag now. That's really cool. So adjusted for inflation, this set would have retailed for $3.72 in 2024, and current use prices have it at about $7.67. Do I think that's worth it? Probably not, honestly. Especially without the Arctic sticker, there's a lot of better options for Arctic sets. Like you could get the $10 set that had the polar bear with it and the Arctic Explorer. That one's not too much more expensive. I just think that there's more value in some of the larger sets, so I wouldn't really want to pay like $8 for something this small. Although it is a cool novelty. I mainly got it for the nostalgia of having this set when I was younger, and this actually isn't my original one either. I was able to piece this together, but since I couldn't find the instructions for the box variant in North America, I was able to find this polybag sealed for a pretty reasonable price, so I just figured I'd get them both. Anyways, that's all I've got for today, so thank you for watching.